Amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Insights on 100. Thank you for that. Okay, but the next part is very close to my heart. It's about AI. And what we're gonna have is 4 mini keynote speeches on AI use cases. Hottest topic of them all for next 40 minutes. And we'll have a round of 10 minutes. And we're going to have 4 rounds with these mini keynotes. So as first, I would like to welcome Madara Knutina, and she's the operations of BADideas.fund. Welcome, Madara.
Oh, thank
Round
you.
of applause. Give it all you have.
Thanks for the warm welcome. I was hoping to see at least one familiar phrase in the audience, and I see a few, so there's no way this is going to go wrong. Thank you so much for showing up. I hear the party went up to past 2 a.m. last night, so honestly, thank you. As some of you may already know, BADideas.fund is an angel investment syndicate, and we invest between 1 and 200K in up-and-coming startups from Central and Eastern Europe. Our edge lies in the collective expertise of our investor community. These are over 200 startup builders and founders who are the ones that bring in new investors to the community, as well as suggest new startups to invest in. As you can imagine, it's a lot of emails to manage. So we've had to be really strategic from day one on how we leverage tech to grow and scale. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. A piece of mindset, a piece of practice, and a piece of advice on how to use tech, and specifically a few AI tools to do that. First up, a piece of mindset. In my past life, I built a customer success team from scratch. And by the time I left the company, our team had 10 amazing people in it. Now, I'd be lying if my ego wasn't quite pleased when we reached that milestone. After all, it made me feel really big and important. At BADideas.fund, we're flipping that notion upside down, and as a team, we've set ourselves a challenge to see how much we can do with as few people as possible. Because after all, humans can only do so much. Let me give you an example. TechChill is a very special event for us. Among other things, it marks our birthday. We are 2 as of now, which apparently means we can speak. And we are thrilled to be partnering with Depot Ventures to be giving out an investment prize later today. And you will find out the winner at the finals. I have a suspicion I'll see a bunch of you there. To get to that point, we had to go through no fewer than 300 applications and decide on who our favorites were. Even after filtering out those that obviously fell outside our investment focus, such as geography, we were still left with around 100 applications to evaluate. Now, assuming that each application would take, say, 5 minutes to evaluate, to score, and to then, analyze, that easily adds up to over 8 human hours. And look, I can do a lot of things, but I'm physically not able to work an entire day non-stop, taking no breaks and doing quality work. So we asked for AI for help. And really, when I say AI, I mean LLMs, or large language models, and specifically OpenAI. Okay, so the first step when it comes to using LLMs is to turn all of the information that's available to you into text. And the 50 Founders Battle application is really quite rigorous. There's a lot of information about what the startup does, where the customers are, what the competitive edge is, and much more. But we know from experience that the real juicy stuff is usually on the deck. So what you then do is you grab the actual deck. That's how it looks like up there. You prepare it for OpenAI. You push the actual deck, the actual PDF, through OpenAI and extract all of the text that's on it and then push it back to Airtable. Quick note, for the purpose of this example, our tech stack is Airtable. That's our CRM, our database, our absolute source of truth. OpenAI, and the screenshot you see is from Make, which is a third-party no-code tool that allows me to stitch applications together. It's like Zapier, just much cheaper. Anyway, back to the story. This extraction flow worked in around 80% of the cases, but there are a few decks that are formed as images, and OpenAI just could not recognize any text from it. So then you have to do an extra step. you have to find an OCR, that's optic character recognition, but don't forget, don't remember that, just OCR, a bunch of tools online that basically take your PDF, it reads the text as if it was a human, and then gives you the text back in a PDF, and then you push it through the same flow. If this sounds easy, if this sounds hard, this is really the easy part, because what you then have to do is actually do something with that information. Now, at Bad Ideas, we evaluate startups based on 4 key pillars: team, market, product, and distribution. What we do is we assign a score to each of these pillars from 1 to 4, and then we tally up the score, and that's essentially a quantitative mechanism that helps us evaluate those startups. Now, how do you do that? I took our selection criteria, a bunch of examples, and I created a prompt on OpenAI. And then I did the same thing I did earlier. I pushed all of the text that now included the deck information through my prompt, and then asked ChatGPT to actually evaluate the startups for me. A key thing and a key tip, so if you do this, you want to make sure that the output, and that's something you do on the prompt level, is formatted as JSON. That basically allows you to then turn that chat response into structured fields. And you can see an example of how that looks like. I ended up with having 4 distinct fields, a numerical score for each of my 4 pillars, as well as a short summary where basically ChatGPT explained its thinking. And that's it. I tallied up my score, and voila, I had a leaderboard. That's how it looked like. I've obviously blurred all the information there. But you can see on the right-hand side how the AI scores stack up for each team and what the overall score is. Now, you may be thinking, look, ChatGPT hallucinates, it's not accurate, you should not take it as gospel. And look, I'm totally with you. What we ended up doing is going through the top half of all of those decks, according to AI, and spent quite a lot of detail into those decks to basically see how well the scores stack up. And we also spot checked a bunch across the rest of the data set to validate how well the scores are. And you can see that our favorites are not necessarily those teams with the highest scores. So we did not trust it blindly, but they're pretty high up there. So that's essentially it. That's what would have taken me, well, a horrendous and frankly an impossible day of work. That was still a day of work for me when I set up the entire process, but it was quite enjoyable. I had my lunch break. I had, a bit of a stroll in the afternoon, things that humans do, whilst producing consistent, high-quality work using AI, but not giving up on that human element there. Anyway, I'm leaving you founders in the audience with a piece of advice. Analyzing large-scale data at scale has never been easier. And the best investors out there actively scan the web to spot the best startups before anybody else. So do yourselves a favor. Create a Crunchbase profile if you haven't already. Make sure your LinkedIn is up to date. Post on socials. All of those things really do matter. They grow your data trail and make it easier for others to notice you. Thank you, and good luck.